introduction. My name is Robert Mahr. I'm from Switzerland, but this is just a part of my story. So, my roots of the family are German, French. My parents grown up in Hungary, then they ran away in '56 to Switzerland. And because my parents were on a business trip, I was born in Canada, but I'm a Swiss. So, this is what we talk about today. So, what do I want to say with this? It's very simple. We cannot think as we used to think in the past. We have to step out of the box. The game is changing, the rules are changing, demands are increasing, pressure is increasing, so at the end, we will have a lot of fun. This is, at the end, my consumption of this, or my feedback, or last sentence to that one. So, coming a bit to my person, I was studying biochemistry. Question can be what the heck I'm doing here. The other thing is, I was working for a software company in California, was running a kind of a solution architecting team afterwards. I studied a bit economics. Then we founded our own software company in '98, which we sold in 2002 with 360 employees. Today, this is one of the leading content management software companies. After that, I went to a strategy consulting firm. And now, since 3.5 years, I'm working for great IBM. So, what does the title of the presentation mean? Once we talk about customer, next generation, or we are surrounded by experts. Why do we talk about experts? Because everybody thinks that he or she is an expert. They know everything. It's difficult to convince somebody, if I want to sell a car, I'm a car seller, it's difficult to convince those people. Just by naming the power, the speed, what I can reach, the consumption, because today's customer, they know this already. How do they know it? Because they're sharing information, they're consuming information, they're searching targeted information. Before they go to the store, they know many, many more things than they used to know 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we could say, this is the best car in the world. People started to believe, made the test ride, and then, yeah, it was as it was. Today, they're reading first, they're talking about, they're coming to the store and just say, I'm interested in that model, with that engine, with that tires, because the other one sucks. It's changing, you see? And how do they share this information? How do they get the information? Where they can access the information? This is what we call next generation customer. So social networks is changing the game. And it's not only a SOHO area, it's really a business area. Social media is becoming very important to make business. So what we see today is that our consumers are instrumented. Almost 36% of those people can access the internet at least with 2 devices. It's quite impressive when you hear this number. When you see this one interconnected, almost 90% of the global citizens have somehow a mobile subscription. Of course, many people have 6 phones. I have 1, and this is sometimes too much, to be honest. But 90%. What does this mean? If you compare this number now with some other numbers, so we have 480 million newspapers, and then you see even more interesting numbers like 1.4 billion internet users, 1.5 TVs, 1.7 credit cards, 4 billion mobile phones, and compare this number, please, to the toothbrushes. So it's more important to communicate than to have decent teeth. So when you have this in your mind, it looks like, yeah, how is this related? Very simple. If you take now the products in red, which should show up soon, or in blue, we changed the color, sorry, you're IBM. So what we see here, this is the base channel, connectivity possibility, communication possibility to do commerce. If we combine this, internet users, TVs, credit card, mobile phones, then we will see a new kind of a consumer behavior. We're talking since years. So in Switzerland, we were working with Credit Suisse about this, and they're owning the Visa process in Switzerland. We talked about using mobile phones as credit cards. It's still not there, but it will be there. I will not call it mobile phone anymore, mobile devices. So we can consolidate different ideas, technologies, or cards, whatever, in one device, make it easier, make it more accessible. On the other hand, we have to think about something else, like Apple TV. Today, it's a small box. You add it to the television. You can stream some media from the internet. And Apple is right now placing an offer for the German TV manufacturer Loewe. Why? It makes sense. It's very simple. They want to have a television and internet combined, integrated. Why is this needed? Think about the next IPO of this week, Facebook. Facebook will use, in the future, the customer base as real customers. They want to sell via Facebook. They even are thinking about their own credit system within Facebook. They want to really run initiatives across Facebook. And if you combine this now with Apple TV together, we can also take Microsoft, by the way. Microsoft is also very innovative over here. Then you see again, something is changing. So the thing is, I get the information on the internet about what kind of information I want to search for the car, coming back to the car. So you see, they are instrumented, interconnected, and they have clever devices, intelligent, and they are engaged. What does it mean? I have everything at home now, 24/7. How many people in this room, you don't have to raise your hand, but you can, how many people in this room have the mobile phone during the night beside the bed? And oh, yeah, some are raising the hand. This is the future. The shop opens at 8, closes at 7. This store is never closed. Think about this. You can reach consumers in a much different way. You can be much more aggressive and much more precise. Why precise? Because, first of all, those consumers are empowered while they are reading information, but they're also sharing information. If Thomas is sharing information, or Gülsün, then I can capture this. Then I know Gülsün shared that information, and I have a relation, Gülsün to that product, as an example, or topic. Somebody gives her feedback, she gives another feedback, and I'm getting more and more precise view on that person. I can even start to predict what this consumer will buy in the next week. This is where we are today. This is what we can do. This is a combination of our software, of hardware, of whatever is possible, business consulting, but this is what we can do. This is what we do for retailers today. And this is a piece which sounds like rocket science, but it's the basis for everything. The basis for everything, coming back, they're sharing this information. I can collect this information on social networks. Once we talk about social networks, people talking about Facebook. Facebook is here. Facebook will be gone in some years. At least this is my personal view. Some others will come. Some others will go. But if you talk about social media, this is a nice picture over here, the conversion. It's quite interesting to see. Facebook is one among them. It's interesting. And don't think that Turkey is not part of this game. Turkey is very innovative. This we can see with every business trip over here. You have so creative minds over here that I'm sometimes really astonished, because we in Switzerland, for sure, we do not have that creative people anymore. We are too satisfied already. We are not hungry enough. Turkey has an amazing chance, to be honest. Coming back to this presentation, so everything I told here is influencing the brand preference and the buying decisions. So by talking about buying decisions and brand preference, we have to understand, how do I influence somebody to buy something? So the interesting thing is that almost 80% are trusting recommendations. Recommendations of friends, recommendations of family. If we divide this into the subgroup, real friends, I mean real friends, not Facebook friends, these are more colleagues. So the real friends and family, then they trust 90%. If you take social network friends, they rely on 70%. Still a very impressive number. So if I'm a retailer, should I invest now in a marketing campaign, in the newspaper, on television, to make a wave talking about my products? Or should I have a precision marketing initiative? In the meaning of, I know how to influence those people. So maybe I use this channel targeting those users which I identified that they're talking about this product, this topic. And this is the next step. This is what we call enterprise marketing management. This is also feasible today. But now you see how this information is coming together. The result of all of this is very simple, that the return rate of a marketing campaign is dramatically increasing. And here I'm really asking you to think about, because it sounds like a complete story. I'm convinced that we have with Smarter Commerce the most complete story, but we're still on 50%. And we need innovative ideas. We need innovators which are identifying some niches, some gaps, where something is missing. We, as an example, we are known as a company, we're always making a decision based on the basics of making or buy. So we have a lot of software, more than 750 products, by the way, pretty much. But we're still buying companies. Why do we buy companies? Because to invest, to develop this solution on our own, it takes too long. We're scanning the market, permanently scanning the market, what innovative companies are out there. We start to work together. Sometimes it will end up in an acquisition, like it was at Unica, Core Metrics, SPSS, Demandtech, 2 others I cannot name now. You will see them in the next for a couple of weeks. But this is what we do. This is how we complete the story. And this is where startups, innovators have a real chance to come together. And I liked very much the statements of Microsoft before, because working with investors, getting the money, enabling that you can do something is important. But based on my personal experience as a startup, never ever give away your intellectual property. Keep that one. Otherwise, they will abuse it, sell the company, and it's gone. So if you believe in your idea, make sure that you can have a trustworthy investor. That's absolutely key. So, coming back to shopping, shopping has always been a collaborative activity, but a person's influence is expanding far beyond the social network. You get influence of people which you have in your real social network, family. You get influenced by people which are outside of the first layer of this network. So people you even don't have seen or don't know, but you read something in a blog, as an example. Somebody buys something or is coding something, and then he blogs on Webrazzi that this was amazing, this was perfect, or this was bad. So this is what we say beyond the social network. You don't have a direct relation with that person. And this is pure power. And bloggers quite often were able to change some bad situations. They were addressing some things which are amazing, things which are not that good. At the end, this input is taken seriously, and companies which are affected, they're really working on getting this information flow in, integrated, and take it as an information source to improve for the better. So that's something which is really important. And here what we see is just an animation that the first layer, second layer, and we expect that this is going to grow. So coming back to the television, Apple, television, internet, social network, integrated in one. You're watching a movie, and at the same time with, it could be a smartphone, whatever, as a remote. You're just adding a statement to your blog. Share it on Twitter, share it on Webrazzi, share it on Facebook while you're watching the movie. And with this, you can attract other people. So this was now a movie. Think online selling, television. Somebody shows, for the next 10 minutes, I'm selling you jeans for 10 euros. I can press the button, the link is there, said, bought the jeans for 10 euros now, share it. My friends see this, do the same, but they do not have to connect to the television. They have the link on the smart device. Maybe they're even on a bicycle. Maybe we even don't think far enough. Maybe we even have to think about, forget about keyboards. Who the heck needs a keyboard? Really, who the heck needs a keyboard? Voice recognition. We had a project in the year 2000 with this content management software together with Silicon Graphics and Texaco and Magic Earth. We had these 3D reality centers of Silicon Graphics. So it looks like a stadium in a way. People are sitting there. And they will make the analysis of tectonical data. Tectonical data means where they expect to have a blurb of oil or gas. Why is it so crucial for them to decide in the right way? Once you drill a hole, it's a $100 million investment. So you should be pretty sure that it's worth to go down there. So many people are sitting there deciding, this is the right blurb, this is the way we do it, this is where we start. And to be able to do this, they need content, they need documents, decisions from the past. And here where the content management system were coming in. The limitation was people were typing and searching. So we worked back then with IBM on voice recognition. People had a headset. They were trained how to talk. It sounded somehow pretty funny, but it was like this, really. But they talked, and we transferred this voice into text, and with the pattern recognition of autonomy, we identified what they're looking for. And almost in real time, we showed them a document which is related to that topic. Topic is not a dog, but if you say a blue dog, this is a relation. So then you just show blue dog. And this is what have been done. In the same time, everything which was discussed, you transferred in written documents as protocols. So the quality of this decision was increased by 98%. Sounds amazing, but 98% is a mathematical view. Instead of having 4 miss drills, you only had 3 at the end. But you saved $100 of million. So combining technologies, which you think today is not possible, is the way where we have to go. Don't take a look isolated to what you see today. Don't take a look what is available. Really step out of the box and believe in yourself, you are creative, and do it. So what we are doing here to wrap everything up is with smarter commerce. We want to serve the consumer. Consumer is in the center. To be able to do this, we have to understand the consumer. We have to anticipate, meaning predict what they will do as the next step. We have to make sure that, business partners, sourcing partners, suppliers are integrated in a smart way. And that's another very important thing. We have talks now with, again, oil and gas, but in Europe companies or telco operators, also in Turkey. What we do here is we make them aware that B2B business, the classical integration of partners, is also changing. Why is it changing? Because those people get used to a certain behavior with Facebook. Many of you have kids here, me too. My kids, I call them social network generation in a way. They start to use this stuff, they grow up with this, they do the university, go to school, the apprenticeship, whatever. All of them have a certain behavior, a new kind of a behavior. They start to work for a company. Do you really think they start to change the behavior? They want to have a block between suppliers, distributor partners, business partners. They want to have a social community somehow. So here's where the first drive of a social network behavior is driving also the behavior of business layers. And for sure you have got already some statements in this direction, I'm sure about this. And it is going to be very interesting what is going to happen in the next 2 years. I don't expect it takes longer. But this behavior is changing. So social network is streaming into business. Then of course, once we promise something, we have to make sure that we can market, sell, fulfill. What is market? I know the demand, I have the right product. I tell those people, potential buyers, we have the product, we're selling it, and then of course I have to deliver. I have to keep my promise. And that's a part of the game where you really can save customer loyalty. Customer loyalty. It's, imagine, I have a Swisscom phone. Switzerland is very small, but we have 4 languages, and the 5th is English because we have many foreigners working there. When I'm calling Swisscom with my Swisscom phone, the hotline, the first question is, welcome to Swisscom, für Deutsch drücken Sie 1, pour français, tapez le 2, parle italiano, 3, and so on and so on. Then we have Rätoromanic and we have English. I have to listen 5 times to say, I'm still German speaking. they have my profile. What the heck are they doing there? They have all the information. I don't want to lose this 10 seconds. So customers getting impatient. They expect to have a result immediately. They expect a customer care that this girl, boy on the other side is a kind of a Facebook friend and knows me a bit. You see? Social impact, business change, quality of service increased, meeting customer expectations. So it's very simple. You have one step after other, and it's very logical. And to me, this is very impressive to see this. And we have, by the way, next week in Madrid, we have the Smarter Commerce event, 4 days. We have more than 3,000 or 4,000 customers there. If somebody's interested, maybe you, we have free tickets. Would be great. We have a couple of IBMers here. Just target us, and we will help you to get there somehow. But this is very interesting. But there you have innovative thinkers. You have the global think tank leaders and customers, and you can really talk very aggressive even about something IBM is not doing well. So it's a good chance. But it's very important. So by having said this, this is already the service. Customer expects to be treated as a friend. This is what I told you before. It's only possible by predicting, understanding the analytics. Now I show you really a hardcore IBM slide. I will not talk too much about these slides. I will just stick on the bullet points. By having said that this integration and this customer treatment is important, you cannot just think about individuals. You have to think about industries, like our enterprises, first of all, meaning business partners, suppliers, production, transportation, delivery, everything like this is included over there. So this means that these customer expectations are influencing the business models. They have to evolve. So next generation customer, in fact, is a next generation core business process. If companies will not follow that path, yeah, let's see. Just go to a dinner with your friends and then write down 10 company names and just think which of these companies have understood what the customer is. Do they treat me as a friend? Do they cover my interest? 2 questions. Write it down and then say no, no. And then if you have 2 no's, check in 5 years, is this company still there? It will work. Some of those will not be there. Not all of them, but some of those. Then, of course, we have the industries, meaning value migration, value chain redefinition. Very important. Also very important over here, once we talk about tangible products, especially, the fragmentation, meaning you have, take Airbus, the airplane. How many plants, companies, countries are working on some parts of it? And somewhere in Hamburg, in France, they have to assemble this stuff. So it's very fragmented. Again, over here, it's important that you have a good integration, that you have a planning, that you have a structure, that you have a process which goes seamlessly across many organizations. But again, it's very dramatically even changing here. People expect a certain behavior. The engineers in 20 years are the kids today which are throwing stones to the windows when they're 12 years old and having fun, or rushing on a skateboard across the zebra as an example. So these kids are our future, and this is a very strong generation. So my kids are 18, 16 and 12, and what I see over there is impressive. So my son, 18, he's in the gymnasium, they developed already 3 iPhone applications. They're not selling a lot, but yeah, it's working. Was it Angry Bird, by the way, which was downloaded 1 billion times now? It was Angry Bird. Or another application, iPhone application. I guess it's called Talking Tom. I met these guys in Slovenia, a couple that developed something, doing something funny, and you can hit a kind of a cat, something like this, and the cat says, ouch. Pure stupidity. But they addressed a need of the human being. They're making a hell of a money with this. Just think about it. So there are many different ways to address customer needs. But if you meet it, it doesn't matter what it is at the end, you have a business. I'm not kidding. So once again, the path forward, we call it smarter commerce. And as I said before, the customer is really in the center. I can even go one step further. before I design a new product, I have to get the real understanding that the customer needs this product. And before I don't have this value proved, or this need proved, I will even not start to go into much in detail design. In the past, before this, you were able to produce something, bring it on the market because some engineers thought that this makes sense. Yes, but today the engineers maybe are, we call them social. They're connected, influencing. So again, the game is changing, also here. By having said this, that customer in the center, maximize the insight on the customer, on the product, on my company, everywhere. We do capitalization on social and media. This is needed, this is necessary. Retailers which are not doing this will have a challenge. We have in Russia now the largest retailer signing contracts next week, starting the discussion with that point 18 months ago. So everywhere, doesn't matter where you are, this is dramatic. The next thing is we have to synchronize the entire value chain across business partners end to end. Collaboration and visibility. Visibility means, first of all, understand the customer, see the customer, generate patterns, and also show that you can be visible. All this together is definitely increasing the margins because you have more precise defined products. Before you start to produce them, you know that they will be sold. And you change, you're driving the value, you change the recognition in the market. On the other hand, I do not emphasize the risk on the slide. What we have here is if you do something wrong on the social media, it can also destroy your business. Done. It's very simple. If you have the wrong product in place, one says it doesn't work, they do not return the money, then another guy says the same, the third, the fourth, the fifth. It can take 1 week and you really have a problem. Good. So satisfy increasing customer expectations. This is what we really talk about. And I will not go in details to that slide deck. I will just tell you that we also have facts to prove that what we talk about here is the real world. It's not just something which is marketing, gossiping, or rocket science. It is reality. This is where we have to start, and the journey just started over here. So I want to emphasize here just the bullet points. So by having the expectations met, first of all, I have my brand, of course. I'm engaging with the customers. I'm meeting the expectations. I'm driving the emotions. With emotions, I will be able to sell much more in the future than with a nice ad in the newspaper. Maybe this can be part of an emotion. But this is very interesting. If you see this, if you understand this, and you think about how you address the customers in the market, this is really how marketing may be influenced. And we have the whole marketing team here. You can also talk with these ladies and gentlemen. So it's really changing even there. Here I will just go through quickly, because this is the customer satisfaction. This is the customer management. I'm saving my customers, customer loyalty. These are the classical steps what we have here to follow. So we're covering the whole business process from buying, market, sell, and service. You cannot miss one of those bullet points. Once you miss one point, the quality of user experience is dramatically going down. It's not the same anymore. So it's not a one-stop shop. You start, and it's a continuous improvement. By having said this, we need to have cross-thinkers. You have to step out of the box, and you really have to believe in your ideas, even if they're as crazy as only possible. So our software company started really at the pizza dinner, to be honest. 4 guys having an idea. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And this is what we call, by the way, let's have a smarter experience, let's build a smarter planet, and this is what IBM's corporate strategy has been changed over the last 2 years. Smarter planet is not selling functions and features, it's value, emotions, user experience. Thank you very much.